Light the blood and feel the breeze. Lost so many brothers in the streets. My skin is as black as my steez. Survive rough when the nights for this type of cheese. Feed my kin and keep my cakes clean. Steez is too street for this TV. Ghetto lessons in my pain. Ease my mind with all of this indica strains. Usuke kasi segura for body. Gotta get shit to change. Street corner says it go labo law. Bafuna e change. Ushisa in cows. Bopa. That's all.
The people will always oppose. And of course, the people have now decided, since from the 1961, that there is no other way of solving the situation in South Africa other than armed struggle. And right now, we, the students, have also joined.
You believe that this is the majority opinion among the black population of South Africa, that violence is the only way out?
Yes, of course. Not necessarily violence for the sake of violence, but it's a revolutionary violence. That the violence that will be there for the sake of bringing change, not violence that must be there for the sake of, for the sake of violence. But what we are interested in is revolutionary violence that will bring justice, peace, and prosperity for a future South Africa.
Botani Mawetu, welcome back to another eye-opening and informative episode of Mikasi Sukasi on the ACWS network. My name is Nzika Swayakile, and today I bring you a somber but bonus episode of the segment. Today, we go back in time to visit this special day because it's only right that we commemorate them. They should never be forgotten. Their names should never be erased. Their stories should never be downplayed, for their blood fueled the life that we live today. Aluta continue. RIP to the martyrs we lost on the 16th of June in 1976.
All of a sudden, they just went out of their cars and came advancing towards us. The first white policeman threw a tear gas. It was the first time we saw a tear gas can. We didn't know even what it was. So when we saw it emitting smoke, we dispersed. And when we came back again. Maybe we thought they would talk to us through a loudspeaker or something like that. All of a sudden, the same policeman who threw the tear gas canister opened fire on the students.
Before we jump into the episode, I'd like to urge everybody out there that's watching this, please share it with your friend, your brother, your sister that needs to learn more about this tragic day that has been renamed to Youth Day. I feel as a ploy to run away from the truth. This is the Soweto Massacres Day, the day that the youth stood up, the day that the youth decided no more.
There is an instance where I saw a child of 8. When this hippo passed, people ran away, and this kid innocently raised his fist in a black power sign and said power to this passing hippo. The hippo stopped there on the spot and they opened fire on this 8-year kid. When I went to the mortuary on the weekend, I saw this kid at the mortuary. She was riddled with bullets beyond recognition.
In 1976, South Africa was not a democracy yet. It was an engineered nightmare. Every inch of black life was written into law, not to protect, but to diminish and punish. The classroom, the street, the bedroom, the boardroom, the workplace. All under legislation built to humiliate, fragment, and erase. We weren't regarded as citizens. We were controlled populations, file numbers, tribal categories, and we had restricted movement and restricted thought. Do not be fooled, June 16 was not a moment in time. It was the breaking point of a generation raised in shackles and taught lies. The children did not riot, they resisted. The youth did not stumble into rebellion, they chose it. They were pushed by the weight of the laws that were meant to crush their futures before they had even begun.
The black student in South Africa is being fed the type of education that will domesticate him to become a better tool for the white man when he joins the working community. School libraries, school books, they've got nothing to do with civics or anything that is affiliated in any manner to politics.
This inequality was by design. South Africa at the time did not fail its people, it targeted them.
I know for a fact that there were more than 300 people who were dead.
How do you know that?
After the June riots, on the weekend after the Wednesday, we went to the government mortuary to go and try and find some people and identify the people we know. When we got there, there were bodies scattered all over the place, and some of them were packed like potato sacks. And apparently these people had name tags on their wrists. and this name tags had been removed because you could see where the plaster was, and then they had been pasted with numbers on their foreheads.
This is the corpses?
The corpses, and they were turning bluish in color. I don't know what was the cause of that. And the biggest figure I saw was 353.
That's from the numbers on the corpses themselves?
The numbers on the corpses themselves.
Now, that clip is one of the reasons why I started this particular podcast, or this segment rather. Today, we go deep. We excavate the truth beneath the textbooks. This is the anatomy of June 16. This is the real curriculum. Before they sent bullets flying, there was Bantu Biko. Before the marching, there was thought. In schools like Morrison's Isaacson High School, Oyo Nkgopotsi Tiro's spirit never left the classrooms. Teachers who were fearless and uncelebrated continued to bring Black consciousness into these dusty lessons. They reminded the children that their minds weren't born inferior, they were born dangerous. In this country where inequality was engineered, the classroom became a cage, and Afrikaans was not just a language, it was the voice of the jailer. The list of influences in these schools go long, but I chose Tsietsi Mashinini, Khotso Siyatlolo, and Dan Muntiti. Children, yes, but also architects of insurrection. The SSRC, born on June 13th, 1976, was not adult-led. It was student-forged. With chalk and slogans as well as strategy, they planned a resistance disguised as a school protest. Now, from Naledi to Morik Isaacson, all across to Pefeni, this whisper became a war cry. They hadn't been planning to march to a stadium, but now they had been planning to march straight into history.
Was there any attempt at communication between you as the leader of the students, or one of the leaders of the students, and the police force?
There wasn't no communication at all.
Were there any loud hailers or anything like that?
It wasn't there to start with. I did not see one, and nobody saw one, if there was any. The only type of communication I saw was just bullets and tear gas.
Multiple shots rang out, tear gas was launched, and dogs were set on the kids. After some time, it definitely came to Utatu Nzima that he had taken one of the most horrific pictures of apartheid's tragedy against Black people. One image that stopped the world, but it also ended Utatu Sam's freedom and his career per se. He was forced into exile after being hunted by apartheid state secret forces. Umbuyisa Makubo, who carried Hector, vanished. Antoinette, Hector's sister, still lives with the scream that she couldn't let out that day.
Police also came to me to find out why I take this picture. I told them I was assigned to do this job. And then he said, Sam, choose between your job and your life. Now we are being given a final assignment that we must not arrest you, we must just shoot at you. That's the thing that made me leave the job from the World newspaper. I found that Johannesburg was no longer good for me, to be a journalist no longer good for me, so I came here at Lilydale, my hideout place.
They were children, primary school goers, gunned down for resisting indoctrination. Now, the regime at the time didn't just shoot, it hunted as well. The Bureau of State Security compiled kill lists. The death squads moved at night, and some of our leaders continued to disappear. Some were turned into informants, and yet the movement spread like fire across the veldt. They tried to decapitate a headless revolution, but how do you kill a spirit born in school corridors and whispered through the iron bars of prison cells? The youth of 1976 did not just die for freedom. They died hoping that you would live it. But what do we do with that hope? Is our fight over? Or has the battleground changed names? From Afrikaans to unemployment, from detention to digital distractions. Where are we standing? We should never abandon the plight of student politics from the tender ages of primary right into the institutions of tertiary education. The struggle will always continue. To the class of 1976, siyabulela, sibamba ngazo zozibini. Today, we don't mourn. Today, we remember to fight because justice is not inherited. It's demanded, it is taught, it's marched for. We were promised the land, but like promises, memory fades unless we speak them into life. Today, we face a day where June 16 has been renamed to Youth Day. But what does the youth know about its day? Reach out to your fellow people, reach out to your elders, find out what you can learn about June 16, because the ripple effect from Soweto went far and wide as our coastal regions go. This has been Unsika on Mikasa Sukasi. Siyabonga.
Deep, realest cappers from the east, capsize beats real neat. New age Guluva for show, keep it real for all of my bros. Spana go low on all of the beats, keep it clean for all of my bros. Yo.